Welcome back. This is Grillenheimer. I'm going to touch into politics a little here, guys. I normally try to stay away from politics on my channel. No one comes here to listen to me talk politics, but this is just very dear and close to my heart, and it should be yours too. And it's all about what's going on in Ukraine and why it's happening. I try to listen to a lot of different people. I heard most of the State of Union address. Whatever that is, we don't know. Is she a cricket? I don't know. It's a very old, ugly cricket. But did I say that? But the point is, and I've mentioned this before, our current ex-vice president, I call him Puzzle, because he's like the donkey in the last battle in the books of Narnia, the last book. Well, who was Puzzle? Puzzle was a donkey who put on a lion skin and pretended to be something he wasn't. And I think that's what's going on here. He's not our president. A lot of commentaries call him and continue to call him the ex-vice president, which I like, which is true. He's not very coherent. He has a lot of physical issues. Vatican, my butt's been wiped and all this other stuff. I mean, and all his gaffes. The other night, him going on, rattling on for 45 minutes was very telling. I didn't see all of it. I saw most of it. Some of it was scary. Some of it was, I felt like I was watching the Hunger Games. Any of y'all think that? With all the getting up and clapping and getting back down, getting up and clapping, and then that one guy, they were kind of, you actually heard boos, and he was going to get up and clap, and he stopped and sat back down, and then get back up to, I mean, it's all for show. I mean, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I don't know why we still have these things. But that's just my opinion on that. But why is Putin, whatever, invading Ukraine? Well, it's complicated. One, we need to pray for the Ukrainian people. We need to help support them. People privately are trying to help. There is something called Operation Supply Chain that's happening. From what I understand, I think there's even some stuff that's come from my state of all places that they're using over there to fight against Russia. Russia is in the meantime going systematically within a lot of these southern cities and taking one city at a time. They are doing the E4 plan or agenda that was talked about back in the 80s. When you go in for a war, you want to knock out their communications first, their power, their phones. And one of the guys I was listening to at the beginning of the week didn't think they were doing that. Well, then someone else locally I was listening to, a caller called in and said, I just came from there. We're adopting this 9-year-old girl. We gave her a phone. In the mass migration of trying to get to Poland with all the rest of the people, and they are walking on foot to get to the border, to get a plane, to get back to America. They kind of got split up from the girl because it was so many people. Not everybody of the Ukrainians are from, according to this caller, are not on this exact same mindset. Most of them are. A lot of the younger people have been able to, get online. They've been independent since 1991. And the younger generation are a little more open, understanding more cultures, how the different flavors of life there are, what's going on in other countries, more open to maybe conservatism isn't exactly the word, but other ideas other than just Ukrainian traditions and ideals per se. And apparently there's the older people that remember being a part of Russia are actually kind of mixed. There are some that wouldn't mind. It's like, well, if we're going to be part of Russia, that's fine. We've been there too. We remember that. Then there's some that, oh, we remember that. We don't want to be under them again. So there is pushback for that as well. So it's very interesting. And according to this morning, who I was listening to locally, they were saying that Russia is going systematically, like in a siege method. They're going city by city by city, and they're trying to surround Kiev, or Kyiv, however you pronounce it. And I find that really interesting. Scary, but interesting. There's a lot of false news out there. You have to be wary. You really have to listen to and pick and choose where you're getting your information from. Try to get a little of everything. Diversify your news sources. Be attentive. Listen, read, and hear everybody. But the whole question is, why is this happening? I mentioned president being puzzled. Well, because he is only just part of the puzzle. He is one of the many pawns in this coalition of countries about the great switch or reset. It is real. ESG, it is real. They're wanting to control our credit scores, national credit scores, and everything. Banks and the whole SWIFT bank, SWIFT sanctions that they're doing to Russia, I think it's all for naught, considering when you try to, I mean, they're trying their darndest, and they're saying, oh, our sanctions are best, our sanctions are strong. Well, it's kind of beating a dead horse if you're still buying their oil. And we're doing that because Puzzle became our ex-vice president a little over a year ago, and about days after, boom, he shut off our the pipeline. I forgot the name of it. And then he signed and told Putin, oh, you can open yours. We'll buy from you. I'm a donkey in lion's clothing. What? You're doing what? We're doing what? Why are we doing this? The previous president had us being self-sufficient. Prices were actually starting to come down. Employment was going up. And now everything is just wonky, going wrong, and our interest rates is just at its highest it's ever been. This man doesn't know what he's doing because he's being played. So is Trudeau, or whoever you want to call him, with the whole trucker and the great honking because of the crap he was giving to those truckers about his mandates. You do what I say. He was against their patriotism. He was against their love for country. Here they are in all their trucks surrounding Ottawa and loving their country, singing the national anthem, flying the Canadian flags, and being real rebels. And actually showing, hey, we're the majority. We don't like your mandates. We don't want this. You can't force this on us. And eventually, and if you looked at, and I mentioned that in a previous video, I think, as long as I uploaded it, where if you looked at Ottawa and you turned on your traffic thingy, it was just red everywhere, and it went all the way up north up to the state park up there, even, as well as on both sides of the river, and going south west as well. I mean, it was a huge area that they had blocked off, including that bridge. So, despite all the crap, Trudeau was forcing on them and enacting on them and trying to make them the fringe minority and slinging all these nasty words to his own people, because they're like, hey, we can't take this anymore. We can't take your crap. We are more than you, you know. I found it very interesting. And the more Trudeau got on TV, the worse he started to look, the more insane he started to sound. And And now we're doing some of the same thing here, and the media is not touching it at all. But our military is ready for them after they're traveling from Florida, California, Illinois, Ohio, wherever, and they are going and doing this same thing here in the States peacefully. That was in Ottawa a peaceful protest. Other things have happened that you probably haven't heard about, like American operatives going into Canada and doing millions of dollars damage to a pipeline in Canada and trying to blame it on the truckers. Yeah. I heard that from a Timcast podcast thingy or whatever. And I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. There's all sorts of craziness going on because they don't like patriotism. They don't like nationalism. They don't like people loving their country, propping up their country. And they're doing that here. They've been trying to kill patriotism here in America for 30 years, 25, 30 years. You rarely hear the national anthem. They don't want it in the schools. They don't want kids praying. It's all about atheism against God, trying to get us against each other, putting labels on each other. They want us divide and conquer. How is the best way to do it? Internally. Because it's all about the great switch. I'm going to relabel that. I'm not going to say the word reset because I'm on TheTube. This is real. That's why Putin, in one of the latest big, I forgot, was it NATO or the UN, and all the leaders were there. Putin was there. Biden was there, and all the leaders are going up there. Oh, we're woke. We're woke. Our soy boys are getting weaker by the minute. We're not a leader anymore. We're not going to do this. We're just good old boys, and we don't care. We're weak. We're going to tell you we're weak. And then Putin got up and he was basically, this is nuts. Why are y'all doing this to yourselves? Why are y'all so proud of all this other crap? And he said it in his own language or whatever, and it had to be translated. But he doesn't like the globalism. He's not a globalist. He's a nationalist. This kind of war we're going through is nationalists versus globalists. And our puzzle and the Canadian puzzle are part of a bigger picture that is all about the Great Switch. Yeah, they're going to try to make Putin look bad because he is the villain here. We should not be behind Putin. We need to be behind the Ukrainian people, not the Ukrainian government. And if you want to know what's really going in Ukraine, try to hear testimonies of the people that are in there, that are from there, and their roads out and getting out of there, getting the heck out of Dodge, because the whole, I want to understand, they're trying to get to the border, cross into Poland, get on planes, and get out. Okay? There's a lot of propaganda on both sides coming out from over there. You have to be wary of what you're listening to and watching, because not all of it's the truth. Old images, old video, etc., etc. It's crazy right now. So, and like I mentioned before, one of the first things in war is you want to take out the power. You want to take out the civilians' communication. A commentator I heard at the beginning of the week didn't know if they were doing that. They're like, well, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Well, they have. And they're doing it systematically, going from city to city to city to city, from what I understand, from inside sources. So that kind of stuff is happening. NATO, for what they're worth, is trying to watch and make sure they keep it internal. This is a really weird situation. I've heard that there could be some peace talks from Putin today, possibly. We don't need to be behind the man. What he's doing is a show of force to go against the Great Switch. They're great chess players. The man is insane. He wants his territory back that became independent back in 1991. Where do we go from here? Are these sanctions really doing anything if we're still buying their oil? So question everything. Listen to everybody. Try to figure out what's the truth. We have to do our own homework on this, because it's all about pulling that big lever. By 2030, we're all supposed to have almost nothing and be happy about it. Things to think about. Hold on to your faith. Believe in God. Believe in your country. They don't like patriotism, in case you haven't noticed. The national anthem, the flag, John Philip Sousa, good old American marches, Henry Fillmore. I used to play them all the time when I was part of a band. They were fun. They were great. When you play them, it makes you feel good. You're like, and you really love your country because of where we've come from, how we've gotten rid of slavery, how we've gotten everybody through suffrage to vote. We've worked too hard to bring it down in a day. Why do I feel like I'm almost quoting a Styx or Kansas song from the 70s? Be wary. Diversify your sources. Listen to your local commentary on the radio. Who you can on Facebook or Rumble, Parler, wherever. And from what I understood hearing today, that they're being systematic and really trying to pull back and not feed Russia that money. And we're trying to really, we're not even going to sell alcohol that's even made in America that has any semblance of symbolism of Russia. That's insane. If it's made in America and you're not buying that anymore, are you kidding me? That's shallow. But so I don't have too much of a problem with not buying their stuff, but when we're buying their oil because our puzzle allowed that to happen and shutting off our self-sufficiency, many of us, this is the only way that I can get my frustration and opinions known is through here. This is my my soapbox. So I apologize. This is the only method I have, unless I'm just squished and taken off. But on Baytube. But that's all I have. So think about this. Question everything. Listen to everything. Listen to everything. Believe in God. Believe in Jesus. Pray for the people of Ukraine. If you can't do anything else, pray for the people of Ukraine. They're going through horrendous times right now. Trying to leave, trying to deal with things. I hear they were starting to actually kaboom people today. There's weird stuff on the net. There's some things, some truth hidden in YouTube as well. But you have to look for it. Big tech doesn't like this stuff. They don't like us loving our country. They have to tear us down by religion, by labels, by skin. They want to conquer and divide from within. We have to come together in faith, in love, in praising our country, where we've come from. Like I said, we can't just hit the flushing valve on the toilet and watch our country go down the drain in one day just because our ex-vice president Puzzle is doing what he's told. By who? We don't know. But I don't think we are not in the America we grew up in. Be wary. Have faith. Pray. Grow your spiritual relationship, because that's all that matters. And when in doubt, these globalists do not like nationalism. That's the war going on right now. Love your country. Show you love your country. They hate that. They have for decades. God bless America. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.